I don't know how many of you saw this Nidahasa trophy. I mean, certainly the early part of it until we got into that magnificent climax. It was a peculiar kind of tournament. It didn't have much of a context, just a little tournament thrown into a sea of nothingness. Gentlemen, here's a cricket tournament. Can you come and watch? But for observers of the game, there's still something to study, still something to analyze. To be honest, I thought it would be an India-Sri Lanka final, but we discovered that Bangladesh's ability to surprise continues, and Sri Lanka continue to walk on a rocky path on their comeback terrain under their new coach. Bangladesh were really good on the field, that is, but I sometimes wonder if they're a little fragile in big finals, and my view is they're far too emotional when they play the final, and I think they need a little more steel. When they get that, Bangladesh will become an even better player. At the moment in T20, they're a very dangerous side with much to commend. Now what about Sri Lanka? I often give the parallel of investing, don't I? And I'd invest a little bit because I see green shoots there. And under Chandika Hathurisinghe, I'll be very surprised if players who don't seem to be as good actually come out and perform even better because he's a good coach. So Sri Lanka on that rocky path, but coming up. And what about India? I'll break this up into people who disappointed, people who didn't tell me too much more, and people who made me go, wow. Top of that list were Rishabh Pant and Jaydev Unadkat. I haven't seen enough of Rishabh Pant to know. I saw him in the last IPL. He played some blazing innings, but there's something holding him back. On big occasions, he just seems burdened. I don't know him well enough to understand why, but he's got to let that go because when he's released, he's a magnificent player. And Jaydev Unadkat. I have a lot of time for Jaydev Unadkat, but he seems to be becoming a little one-dimensional bowler. Just roll your fingers across the ball, bowl those cutters, till such time as he doesn't get back a lovely big fast in-swinger to make the cutters more effective, he will tend to become a little predictable. And I hope this IPL auction isn't weighing him down, that he's a little taut, that he's trying too hard, because he's a fine player, he's got a very good track record. I just worry that these bowlers who become specifically slower ball bowlers tend to have a very short life. They need to mix it up with a quicker delivery. So that's what I'll be looking forward from Unadkat. Manish Pandey did what was expected of him. I wanted to see a little more from Manish Pandey. One really good innings, but he took a little bit of time to get going. I'm not sure 5 is his favorite number. And Suresh Raina. I think Suresh Raina is playing a lot of shots. I think Suresh Raina is a far better batsman. He's a T20 legend, maybe at 4 and playing a more match-winning innings. But the fact that Suresh Raina is back and hitting the ball sweetly is a wonderful sign for Indian cricket. I thought Rohit Sharma would do a little bit more in tournaments like these, just as Virat Kohli dominates, and Rohit Sharma is a comparable limited overs batsman. I thought Rohit Sharma would dominate. He had one really good innings, but otherwise I think India benefited from the fact that you had the likes of Shikhar Dhawan and Dinesh Karthik playing so well. Yuzvendra Chahal was wonderful again. There's something so impish about him, and he continued giving his captain wickets. He continued turning matches around. He continued hitting a little nail, driving a nail into the opposition. So from that point of view, yes, Chahal actually went up a little bit because he was the lead spinner. And then there was Washington Sundar. I think Washington Sundar did everything that was asked of him. There's a batsman lurking in Washington Sundar as well, but I don't know if that batsman has much to do at 7 or 8. He only walked out once throughout the tournament, but Washington Sundar did magnificently, and I think he reminds me so much of Ashwin from 2010. A young man with a good action, in control of himself, not doing a lot with the ball, but varying the pace, tossing it up, very intelligent. I think we're going to see a little bit more of Washington Sundar. So there you are, India winning eventually. What India did in winning was to tell the world, don't worry about our batting. Our batting is in very good shape. You let Virat Kohli go out, you let MS Dhoni go out. Even if you had said you let Rohit Sharma go out, there would still have been replacements coming along. Look Pandey was always a threat. Karthik became a match winner. Raina is back in again, and I'm sure we're going to see much more of Lokesh Rahul. So the batting was fine, but I worry about India's tendency to go in with less than 20 overs in the side. I mean, it's easy to go and say, look what Vijay Shankar did. Vijay Shankar is a batsman who bowls a little bit. And I think actually, if him and Hardik Pandya played together, India might actually find a batting all-rounder, bowling all-rounder and get those wickets in. I think he's going to do better for India, but I thought he was playing the wrong role here. But in spite of having their lead bowlers all away, the fact that India won the tournament tells you the quality of the reserves.